After 4 rounds of the 2016 Hero Cup, taking in the Winter Challenge to Monte Carlo, the Scottish Malts, the Summer Trial and the Royal Automobile Club's 1,000-mile trial, the 5th round of the series brings us to the Hero Challenge. The now disused Throgmorton Airfield, once home to bomber training in World War II, is to be the venue for the test, while the country lanes of Worcestershire would see the crews test their regularity skills. The event's ideal for those new to classic car rallying.
This is the first time we've ever done any historic rallying.
I saw all this and thought I had to fill it all in.
No. Marshals will fill everything in apart from the self-start.
And for more experienced crews alike, a chance to get some practice on a shorter event before tackling the Rally of the Test and the infamous Le Jog.
This is an opportunity to get the car out, make sure everything works. She hasn't been out the garage for probably 10 months now. So yeah, just give it a shakedown, make sure everything's okay, make some final adjustments and get it ready for Rally of the Test, and then the jog in December.
This will be our 4th Throckmorton, so we keep coming back for more.
Looking at somebody else's car?
Yep, I'm getting tips.
Tips on what?
How to do it properly. I think that's the best thing to do.
The event would again be based at the Vale Golf Club, Evesham. There were 2 competitions running on the day.
You've got the Clubman event, which is for the first timers and people who are not as experienced. That's on a tulip road book, which is basic navigation. And then we've got the National B event, which is part of the HRCR Clubman Championship, where the competitors are much more experienced. They need to plot the route on a map and given various clues to find the route round.
Previous Hero Cup champion Paul Crosby reflects on what it takes to triumph in one of the closest fought competitions in the classic car world.
Honestly, it takes a very good navigator, first of all. You need a good navigator. You need to obviously do all the events, which helps. And you need to have a reliable car. So I think it's a combination of things. This event, we've got the 356, which I've lucky enough to have acquired earlier this year. It's going to be very different. We did it last year in the 911, me and Andy Pullan, and Andy did a great job and we managed to win it last year. I don't think we've got any chance at all of winning it this year with the 356. So it's more of a shakedown really for the Rally of the Test.
The leaderboard for this year's Cup has Stephen Owens sitting at the top, closely followed by Daniel Gressley and Paul Crosby, both 10 points behind. Also up for grabs is the Golden Roma, the championship exclusively for navigators. Heading this up is Andrew Durden, 10 points ahead of Andy Pullan, with Elise White in 3rd. The Hero Cup is well known for its intense but friendly rivalry.
I'm Grant. Hey! Nice to see you.
All right.
Gary, nice to see you again. You've come to see the winning pair, have you? Number 1 and number 2 in the
Number
Hero
1
Trophy.
and number 2.
I think he's right there, but who's winning the Hero Trophy at this moment in time? Although I don't think it'll last long. At this moment in time, I think I'm leading the championship by about 10 points. This is a fairly crucial one, but 3 rounds to go. Rally of the Test is going to be a very, very good challenging one, but it could go right up to the end, as it did last year.
Battery terminal negative yellow is an old Scrutineer's trick.
Every assistance is given to novice competitors, with a talk from Chief Mechanic Dave Smith introducing them to the mechanical requirements for entering such events.
We've just been doing a briefing for people who have not competed on events or have only competed on 1 or 2 events about basic car preparation, do's and don'ts of what to have in the car, how to look after a car, what to do to it to get it on an event, what things they must have mandatory on an event, first aid kit, fire extinguisher, tow rope, things like that. We don't want them to fail scrutineering and we want them to come back, so we have a little friendly chat, get together, so they know what to do on the event.
All cars built before 1960 are exempt from an MOT test. However, on MSA competitions, qualified scrutineers ensure that every vehicle passes eligibility tests before being allowed to compete on the public road.
We check lights, washers, wipers, horn, and then they have to run a spill kit in case they have an oil spillage, tow rope, and just general small items like that.
First aid kit, triangle,
First aid kit.
spill kit, cover, diary.
Talk to the gentleman over there. Right. We'll get that sorted out.
Okay.
Yeah?
The trip isn't working. We've had some work done on the car and it seems to have had an adverse effect on the trip, which is pretty important for an event like this. So I've got my fingers crossed.
The car arrived from Spain, all stickered up. So for the rules for this rally, we've just got to take those anything that looks like advertising off the car, so it's nice and plain colour tomorrow. But 5-minute job, we'll get that sorted, and it'll look like a road car again.
I found a few problems, but hopefully it'll be all right.
What problems?
Washers aren't working, just a loose wire, I think.
Thank you. Electronic ignition?
No.
With the roar of the exhaust, noise is also closely regulated, with all cars having to pass a strictly monitored test using specialist equipment.
It checks the sound of the exhaust are making so we don't upset the residents when we're driving around the countryside.
Drop this down. That's it. All good, happy days.
Thank you.
Alright, so far so good.
Not bad, not bad.
Got paperwork to do now. It's always a tricky bit. I'll follow my dad's lead.
This will be my first event. Yep, I've done quite a bit on track, some sprints and hill climbs, but I've never done any sort of stage rallying, anything like this, no regularities, so I'll take my lead from my father. If it all goes well, I think we'll do okay. Is when things start going wrong, that's when we might start shouting at each other.
Many classics pass through the hands of the scrutineers, but it's the old icons of British motoring that get the admiring glances.
Well, it's just been through a complete overhaul, because the previous rally got covered in white stuff on the White Rose rally. It's 1275, basically Cooper S specification, although it's built into a 1969 Cooper. It goes well. We're looking forward to a very enjoyable day. It's not been out for a couple of months, so we're rusty. We're going to enjoy today.
My car is a 1967 Toyota Corona. It is meant to be the oldest restored Corona in the country. There's only about 12 in the whole of the country. I have 2 of them, this one and another one which I do circuit racing in. I've used it 3 times at Goodwood Revival. This has done the Classic Marathon twice and Monte Carlo this year as well. So I thought I'd better bring it out of the garage and have another little play before the winter sets in.
Scrutineering done with, and the mandatory signing on, the crews get to see what they have let themselves in for, and they see the maps and test diagrams for the first time. Friday has traditionally been seen as the training day, when crews new to the world of classic car competitions and those in need of a refresher go back to school.
Arrival time in the box there, and the difference between that arrival time and your start time you are credited with when you get to the next main control. We go through tulips, we go through a time card with them to explain what they need to write on their cards and what the marshals will write, where the marshals will write. Talk them through how to navigate on tulips, taught them how to operate the tulip road book in conjunction with stopwatches for the regularities, and also explain to them how they would need to mark up their test diagrams such that the navigator can guide the driver around the test diagrams without going wrong.
The training day comes to an end and the crews head off to their beds to dream of tulips and tests. Saturday morning greets the crews with bright sunshine and bacon butties, looking forward to the competition. The event is also a round of the HRCR Clubman's Road Rally Championship, which Matt Warren and Andy Pullan had already sewn up, but that wouldn't stop the family rivalry.
Matthew's managed 8 wins this year, so I think he's dropped no points effectively, and the championship is his. I have to try and hang on to second. So a good result for me today would be in order.
So you've beaten Dad at last then?
Yeah, every event this year, to be honest. So yeah, so it's
I
been,
managed to win the two that he didn't turn up for, Gally, so...
Even for the classic car enthusiast, buying these pieces of history can come up with a few surprises.
Car's a 1962 Volvo PV. I bought it and it was one of these typical competition cars that when you took it to bits turned out not to be the thing that you thought you had bought. So the bonus as far as that was concerned was that we took the car to bits and put it back together again the way we wanted it, and it's turned out a very successful car. For an old 1962 car, we've had a few top 10 finishes this year.
For many owners, the appeal of owning a classic car is also in its provenance, and the more famous the previous owners and the more checkered its history, the better.
BGS is one of 3 cars that Ron Gammon brought back from California in 1989 to prepare for the original Classic Marathon series, and used by Roger Clark and Tony Mason, the ex-Top Gear presenter. Then in 1992, the car was run by Sterling Moss and Zoe Heritage in the Classic Marathon, and Sterling was lying as high as 4th. He had a little moment on the Stelvio and still managed to finish 7th overall. So great pedigree, but I suppose the most successful element of the car was in the hands of Chris Hunt Cook, and in 2007 he won Le Jog outright. So it's got quite a pedigree, quite a history, something which I can only aspire to, I think. No chance of keeping up with that lot.
A one-day event such as the Hero Challenge represents an opportunity to sample both closed and open road driving. The course has been designed to challenge the crews in both disciplines.
Well, we tried to put what we hope will be an enjoyable and competitive route for everybody. Tried to consider both the Clubman and the National B competitors. Obviously the National B competitors look for something a bit more taxing, hopefully, and hopefully we try to keep everybody happy with a bit of something for everybody. We try to stay away from the narrowest of lanes, obviously, to try and minimise traffic, and hopefully give them something everybody to think about and to enjoy as well.
It's a very scenic route, plenty to look at along the way, not that I'll have much time to enjoy it because it is very busy. And we've got 9 brilliant tests at Throckmorton Airfield to enjoy along the way as well. Plenty of loose and plenty of airfields to open these big cars up.
Tests are more than just about going fast. Driver and navigator have to work in harmony with each other, and part of that is all in the preparation.
I'm just having a look at the tests so I can try and remember where they go. So I rely on Matthew telling me on the tests. I don't try to memorise them like some people do, but I like to have a rough idea where they're going.
It's always much easier if everything is nice and calm in the car and you know which way you're going, and be very clear, precise, don't try and muddle everything up.
We have a system whereby for each cone, Matthew tells me which side of the cone to go and then where to go afterwards. So we have a two level instruction for each cone. It seems to work for us.
What we're doing now is just working out where this extract of map they've given us actually fits in onto the top of the other map. So we're starting there and have no idea where we're going yet. Probably along that road and then up into this maze of lanes up here.
While for others, aerodynamics are key to their performance.
You don't want any drag. You see, the dust on it gives a bit too much drag, so we need every bit of speed we can get today. 1951 Sunbeam Talbot 90, 2.2 litre, same as Sterling Moss drove in the Monte Carlo.
As the start of the first test gets ever closer, first-time nerves are starting to show.
All right, you take care.
Thanks very much.
Right.
Have a good day.
See you now.
Are you prepared for this now?
Not really. This is my first event.
Mrs. Howells in the car next door is saying it's her first event. It's our 200th or thereabout, and we're still as bad. So never mind.
At 8:01, the first of 88 cars were away for the start of the 2016 Hero Challenge.
We're very much looking forward to it. The weather looks to be good for the day. It's always a challenging event, is this event. Great tests, good regularities, a real test of navigation and driving skills, lots of things mixed together, and it's a good test for the cars.
Thank you very much.
the race. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Just trying to get a trip meet work because we haven't got one to work at the moment, so we're going to have to wing it a bit on the first section.
Really looking forward to it. There's nothing at stake today, so we're just here to really enjoy it, and it's always a good event. Thoroughly enjoy thrashing up and down the runways at Throckmorton, and the nice gentle posse around the Cotswolds.
Some of the best tests in the year, really, on the airfield. Yeah, it's quick, it's good.
No, all the Y's and M's all look the same. And then I find I've marked one wrong, and it's just absolutely disastrous.
It's the navigator that wins this, you know?
Yeah. Good job you got a good one, isn't it? Not to blow my own trumpet.
First time he's ever done one of these events, so I've lent him my car.
So if we're still friends when we get to the finish, that will be a plus.
My second event, so I'm still a rank amateur, but looking forward to it. I got a Triumph TR4 in 1964. So I've had it for about 2.5 years, and I've done lots of track days on it, and it's kind of built as half race, half rally.
Classic car rallying's not restricted to the older generation. 14-year-old Matthew Vinson was navigating on his very first event for Dad John.
So I'm a little bit excited, but a little bit scared for it as well.
He's had a bit of training from me. I normally navigate. I'm doing the driving today, so he should have a bit of fun. Some nice long tests for him to start shouting out at me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
As expected, the usual suspects were giving it the beans from the word go. Warren and Pullan claimed first blood with the fastest time at 2 minutes 22 seconds in National B on the first test. The Clubmans would see a tight three-way tie between Will Calvert and Adrian Bramley in their Mini, Justin and John Lawson's MGB, and Nigel Perkins and Pete Johnson in their Porsche 911. The loose surface of the airfield catching out even the most experienced drivers. As with all motorsport, you can't win it at the first corner, but you can lose it.
That was a bit scary. Good fun, good fun.
Nice stuff.
Apart from one slide when I overcooked tyres, not too bad. Not too bad. Must have been.
Really good, but yeah, a bit of practice needed.
The first regularity of the day would be a 13.5-mile trip, winding its way from just outside Ombersley through the country lanes of Worcester to Doverdale. 4 timing points would keep the navigators on their toes. The route would then take in the villages of Borley and Lindholt.
So your self-start time.
Yeah.
It's right in those boxes there.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Alright. There you go.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The second regularity through Witchbolt to Inkbarrow was to prove tricky for a number of the national bees when a not-as-map junction at Stoke Wharf caused several problems. The Tulip Roebucks would prove to be an advantage in negotiating this section for the Clubmans.
Couldn't be better. believe that, you believe anything. Crack on, up to it. Come on.
With the 3 tests and 2 regularities completed, the first of the day's pit stops was a chance for the crews to catch their breath and for Tully and Pullan, the 2 leading navigators, to exchange some notes.
When you came to the one that we'd originally got marked on the map, did you go short way round or long way round? Yeah, which is correct, because then when you got to the T-junction, you went long way round. Yeah. So I think, I don't know whether it was deliberate or not, I guess it was. But you think
that's why we're 7 early there, because they've done it wrong.
Oh, right.
Tight the distances.
Possible. We were, because we hesitated for so long at that big triangle deciding whether we went round it or not, and we'd had a bit of traffic and horse riders and cyclists and whatever else on that Nadgery section. We were down at that point anyway, so we were sort of a bit all over the place with time, but yeah, you could be right.
I think we were about right.
Yeah, it'd be worth, I've not worked out the distance, but we could probably do that.
While other navigators were left scratching their heads.
15 is left at the crossroads.
Yeah.
16 is ignore slot left.
Oh, that's that one, yeah.
17 is turn right.
Yeah.
And 18 is left at the T-junction.
Yeah, that will make sense. You sure?
Yes! Closest we're ever going to get.
It didn't make sense in the car, it makes sense now.
It's so much easier to do it here.
The drivers too were having their own issues, some more than others.
It's misfiring really hard on the load, and it wasn't yesterday.
It never tripped me to start with, so we're having to wing it a bit, but once we got the hang of guessing work, we're just guessing along now, so we're right.
Quite a bit of traffic on the road, horses and usual sort of Saturday morning nice day stuff, so got to be a bit careful on the roads, but yeah, it's okay, it's good.
Yeah, we've had a good morning. No mistakes, haven't missed anything, so I don't know what the times are like, but the end of the day will tell. What will be, will be.
How are you getting on?
A little bit mixed. Not too bad, but a little bit mixed. Got a little bit confused. And I'm short of time, so I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid.
By this stage, the National B leaderboard had Matt Warren and Andy Pullan holding on to their lead, even after a slip-up cost them 11 seconds. Ahead of Father Howard and Ian Tully in the Porsche 911, Mike and Matthew Vokes in their Ginetta 1 second behind in third, and John and Peter Dignan fourth. The second reg had proved more problematic for many of the clubmans, the leading trio starting to split up. The lead now in the hands of Nigel Perkins and Peter Johnson, ahead of the Lawsons with Pettit and Jolly in third. The crew's now suitably refreshed, the open road beckon with the third regularity of the day, aptly named Splashing About. The route takes the crews on the roads north of Flyford Flavel and winds its way back to Throgmorton Airfield for another 3 tests before lunch. Although not deep, the slippery nature of the fords were proving tricky for some. Tim Lawrence and Adam Tibbs dropping 11 seconds, while Steve and Julia Robertson recovering from their earlier mishaps to post second best performance.
Nice route, lots of water splashes. How many fords have you been through? 3 or 4?
4.
Yeah, so it's been really good.
I thought it wasn't going very well, but it seems like everybody's had problems.
We're fairly happy with our progress, given that we've never done it before.
I'm absolutely wrecked. The car's going fine, but I'm absolutely destroyed.
Back at Throgmorton Airfield, the second set of tests would again put the crews through their paces.
All good, really good test those. Had a little hiccup in the middle of the second one, like.
Great fun. Got the brakes this time as well, lads. I didn't put the brakes. How about that?
lunch break gives crews the opportunity to reflect on their morning's work.
It's been quite hard. We're having quite a lot of trouble with our trip, and it's not really working this morning, so I think we're going on time on the stopwatches this afternoon. See how we get on.
I think the navigation's fine. I don't think we've got the usual issues of when I say left of a cone, driver sometimes attempts to go right.
I missed one of those grass triangles in the middle of one of the regularities, which cost us a minute, which was... There you go.
Well, we weren't 8 minutes late. I started on
8
time.
minutes later than that time.
Oh, well, yes, because that's car one time.
No, that's 8 minutes. You leave here and the checkpoint. That's 8 minutes later. It takes 8 minutes to get there. Thereabouts. All right.
Car's going brilliantly. We're having a great time. Weather's ideal. It's all good. Yeah. So countdown to the afternoon's entertainment.
There's still not all the results in yet, so we have yet to see what's going to happen this afternoon. It's not very long, but anything can happen.
For error.
For error, yeah, that's true. So, we shall see.
At the lunch break, the National B lead was still held by Matt Warren and Andy Pullan. Second was still Howard Warren and Ian Tully. The Janetta of the Vokes pairing in third, Crosby and Proctor in the Porsche 356 were on the move in fifth, just behind the Dignans in fourth. And in the Clubman's class, top spot was still Perkins and Johnson, but the chasing pack had now taken on a new look, with Calvert and Brownlee second, while Steve and Julia Robertson have moved up to third, ahead of Lawrence and Tibbs. While drivers and navigators enjoyed their own pit stop, it was also a chance for the machinery to be tended to.
Yeah, it's a big split. It's about that big.
Yeah, because I mean that works if you've got it down.
The radiator's got a big split in it. You can move it, but you wouldn't want to drive it too far. Yeah, it's either crimp, but it'll be sealed somehow, I think.
Apart from the brakes are complaining, but other than that, really good. Brakes are squealing a lot.
We're second in our class, and we're hoping we can try and get first if we can, and inside top 10 hopefully. So goal.
Everything right this afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a 1967 Mustang. It was a Californian car originally, where it did the gumball rally type events, and it was shipped to Australia, where it was converted into an endurance rally car. At that point it was converted to right-hand drive as well, and it competed in the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, doing events like the London to Sydney and Panama to Alaska rallies, and a few events across Australia. The car then came back into Britain at some point, and a few owners on. I just bought it a couple of months ago.
Fabulous. Absolutely marvellous. Great fun.
Don't know what we're doing, but we're having great fun. As one of the marshals said, we've got all the gear but no idea, and I think about that just about sums it up.
So far on the Hero Challenge, the multidiscipline course has taken the crews from the thrill-seeking loose gravel tarmac at Throgmorton Airfield to the winding country lanes and slippery fords of the Cotswolds, throwing up some surprises along the way, with Tim Lawrence and Adam Tibbs currently sitting in second place.
We had one time that we thought was going to cause us a lot of trouble, but it's doing okay. I think it was the same for everybody. With 4 competitive parts to go, hopefully we'll pull those 3 seconds back. Might go the other way, we'll just have to wait and see.
Lunch over and Regularity 4 loomed.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
It's going okay, but anything can happen.
For the second half of the day, the National Bs and Clubmans went their separate ways, with the National Bs doing a 35-mile regularity plus another 2 regs before their final set of tests at the airfield. The Clubmans would do just one 25-mile reg, followed by the airfield test.
59.34.
How's it going?
Extremely well. Surprisingly.
Starting from just outside the village of Wickham and heading this time south, the route took us through the beautiful countryside of the Cotswolds. At this point, the classes split to go their own way. The Clubman's regularity action ended at Hales Abbey, while the National Bees went their own way to Didbrook, Stanton, and regularity end near Alderton.
Having a good day. We just had a pretty good last reg, lost 8 seconds over an hour, so we're happy with that. Just got to get through these now, bring it home in one piece, and everyone will be happy.
With the last of the event's regularities dealt with, it was back to the airfield for the final 3 tests.
And then straight back the same way as well. Straight. No, Tom, no, don't go around it again. Left of D. Hard right, round 8.
It was a close battle to snatch the top spot, with the Robertsons and Perkins and Johnsons only seconds apart.
Oh, that was fun. Yes, the tests are okay.
It's not what I'd call fun. I've got a face full of grit.
Arriving back at the airfield, the National Bees had just the 3 tests to complete.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Before the finish, Matt Warren seemed to have done enough, but Father Howard wouldn't give up the fight.
Oh, it was fine, thank you very much. Had a great time. Thoroughly enjoyable.
After a long day of 9 tests, 5 regularities and many ups and downs for newcomers and experienced crews alike, it was back to base for the results. With a 3rd in class and 13th overall, 14-year-old Matthew Vincent had done a sterling job.
Yeah, today's been good. We've had some fun. Had a couple of spins down in the test because we just threw all our skills out the window. But yeah, it's been quite good today.
Oh, we've had a good day. It's been good fun. Really enjoyed it. Some very challenging navigation and some very interesting roads up and down these hills. So had a smashing time.
It was very mixed. It was definitely an experience, and I think it's you need to come back and try it again.
After the close-run final test, the honours fell to Perkins and Johnson. Nigel Perkins picking up his first ever win. Also celebrating their best ever result in second was Steve and Julia Robertson. Lawrence and Tibbs came in third, with Calvert and Bramley fourth.
Yeah, very pleased. 10 years I've waited. 10 years of competing and my first. So I'm very pleased.
The National B competition is split into 4 categories. For Masters, 2 expert classes and novices. But with the rest of the field failing to knock them off the top spot, Matt Warren and Andy Pullan secured the overall honours, from Howard Warren and Ian Tully in second. Paul Crosby and Ali Proctor had snatched third from Mike and Matthew Vokes, who came in just ahead of expert class leaders Darryl and Nicky Staniforth.
Yeah, well, we've had a great day down on the Hero Challenge this year. Been based at the Vale Golf Club again, and lots of really great tests on Throckmorton Airfield, and a challenging day of regularities out on the open lanes as well.
And as the sun sets on another intense day of competition, the fight for the 2016 Hero Cup moves on to the next round. The RAC Rally of the Test in November. The Rally of the Test is a true endurance event for the more experienced crews, taking in off-road and night sections. Spread over 4 days, this year's route takes us from the start at Bournemouth to Bristol, then through Wales and on to the Potteries, then Derbyshire and back to the finish in Chester. Tune in next time to see who can triumph in this gruelling 4-day event. Tune in next time to see who can triumph in this grueling 4-day event.